Many of our bad experiences happen at evening events where alcohol is served, and the same is true with me. Several years ago, I had the invitation to be the evening speaker, the after dinner speaker, at an awards and recognition banquet for the employees of a Catholic hospital. The nun, who was the CEO of the hospital, allowed herself to drink alcohol one time a year. Guess which night? So I start my speech, and I just said something innocuous like, "Hey, it's great to be here this evening." And from the front row, I hear a female voice go, "Liar! It's not that great." I kind of looked around, and then I said, "And we're going to have a good time tonight. We'd better, or you're not getting paid." I looked down. I'm being heckled by a nun in the front row. That was a great night.
Worst speech in 25 years. I get hired by a company to do their teenage employees. When I walk into the room, there are about 1,500 of them in a big amphitheater. They are flying frisbees into the audience with $100 bills taped to the bottom. It is pure chaos. The guy walks out on stage and says, "Listen, I know we're having a lot of fun. The fun stops right now because we've got a speaker." They start to boo. Of course they do. He brings me on. They continue to boo. 10 minutes in, they're still booing. Finally, I say, "Forget this." I walk off. I tell the guy, "You can keep your money. I'm not going to get booed for an hour." He says, No, Larry, I'll get him to shut up." He goes out and screams at him, says, "You will be quiet. Respect this guy. We paid him a ton of money to be here. Now pay attention." He walks off. I come back out. Now they're not booing anymore. They're like this. I do about 10 more minutes and say, "Thank you so much. I'm out of here." And one guy at the very top goes, "That's it." I get that 2-3 clap thing. And I'm done. I walk up stage and say, "I've changed my mind. I want all that money after all."
Hey, it's Joe Calloway. I was thinking about what's my worst speaking experience been, and I started to go with the drunk bicycle salesman. That was bad. That was not good. But you know what? The speaking experience that to this day gives me a bad feeling, gives me chills, is it was the third speech I had done for a client over a period of a couple of months. The first two had gone great. The third one, they sent me a letter afterward. That's how long ago it was. I got a letter, and it said, "Dear Joe, frankly, we were disappointed in your last presentation." And, they should have been disappointed because you know what I did? I just showed up. I mailed it in. I didn't do what I needed to do a great job. And that's what they were paying for. And so the lesson I learned, and to this day, I have to do the work. I got to do the preparation. I've got to have the intention because that's what the client is paying for. So my worst speaking experience was my fault. Hope you're having a great day. See ya. Peace.
Hey, like everyone else, I've had my share of bad audiences that didn't want to be there, people who were overserved for an after-dinner presentation, bad room, bad sound, bad lighting, you name it. I've even honestly had one or two where I didn't do the work that I should have done to get ready for the presentation, and that was not a great experience either. But my most painful speaking experience came in North Carolina, pharmaceutical company. I'm walking in about 45 minutes before I was supposed to go on, and I tripped on the sidewalk and fell in the parking lot. That's right, face plant in the parking lot. They took me to the infirmary, iced me for 30 or 40 minutes. I actually went on about 10 minutes late, did the presentation. They caught the whole thing on video so that they would have it and I could keep it for posterity. It was no doubt the most physically painful presentation I've ever done. And two lessons. One, the show must go on. And two, you really do have to be safe out there. I'll see you next time.
My worst speaking experience? Well, I can remember that very vividly. I was working with a client at a very nice resort, which will remain nameless to protect the guilty. That afternoon, there was an outdoor event that involved lots of coolers of cold beer. The plan was that evening to have a 1-hour social time and then dinner. However, the 1-hour social time, more correctly called a happy hour, turned into 3 happy hours because food preparation was taking too long. When we finally sat down to eat, most people were fairly schnockered. The reason I knew this is because there were rolls being thrown, the C-level execs were dropping F-bombs, and when I was finally introduced, I knew I was facing a big challenge. After about 17 minutes, I realized that I had fully used all of the attention span left with this audience. Nice folks though they were having way too much fun celebrating than they were listening. So I stopped. I walked to the back of the room and I said to the meeting planner, "Hey, you can keep the money." She said, "Are you kidding me? After what you went through, you earned every penny."